This lines up with a real discovery. In 2015, the Scan Pyramids project used thermal imaging on the Great Pyramid and found a massive, unexplained thermal anomaly at its base. A hotspot. What if it wasn't a hidden room but heat rising from somewhere else? The discovery spread quietly through the archaeology community. Officials from Cairo ordered the site sealed indefinitely, citing structural instability. But not everyone was convinced. Rumors spread of a containment operation. Some claimed the Egyptian government had brought in military engineers to pour thousands of tons of concrete over the entrance. Within weeks, several team members began to experience strange symptoms: intense migraines, nausea, and nightmares. But they were all having the same nightmare: a black lake, a floating box, and a low, rhythmic humming. Nadia's sketches, now recovered, began to appear different in certain lighting. Lines that had been faint now glowed under ultraviolet lamps. When one researcher, an audio engineer, compared the shapes to sound frequencies, he got a perfect match. The carvings were pictures of the sound they'd heard. They were visual representations of a frequency. This is a real science called cymatics. Then came the tremors. A month after the chamber collapsed, small earthquakes rippled through the region. Seismologists noticed they weren't random. The quakes occurred in repeating intervals, almost rhythmic, like the pulse from the lake. Karim wrote to his contacts at Cairo University begging them to re-examine the data. The readings were indeed rhythmic. In fact, they matched the vibrations recorded from the lake perfectly. Something down there was still moving. Satellite imaging showed minor ground subsidence. The ground was sinking directly over the area where the lake had been. And yet, when they compared the newest scans to the old radar maps, there was another anomaly. A new void had appeared, deeper below the original chamber. Almost like the labyrinth had grown. When news of the find leaked to the press, it was dismissed as internet nonsense. But those who had been there, those who had seen the coffin, knew better. The energy readings, the moving water, the chanting voice, it all pointed to something more than geology. A few weeks later, a sudden sandstorm swept across Giza. It was fierce, blinding, and entirely unexpected. It lasted 3 full days. When it cleared, the dig site was gone, completely buried under dozens of feet of new sand. The Egyptian Antiquities Authority declared the site off-limits. Reports, notes, and recordings were confiscated for preservation. But some of the team members swore that on the final night of the storm, they saw flashes of blue light coming from the dunes, as if something beneath the desert was alive, stirring and breathing. And the strangest thing? When they compared seismic maps afterward, the rhythmic vibrations had stopped. Whatever was moving down there had gone silent. Or maybe it had just gone deeper. The warning we can't read. When the sands of Giza finally settled, most assumed the story was over. The Egyptian government shut down the excavation, sealed the reports, and reassured the public. To them, the incident was just another archaeological mishap. But not everyone bought the explanation. Years later, a small independent team of researchers at the University of Alexandria began re-examining geological scans. Their goal was simple: to create a new 3D model of the Giza Plateau. They had no connection to the old dig, but when their software stitched the radar data together, they noticed something strange.